Hi everyone, my name is Naila Salsabila Agustina and I'm from Class C. Today I'd like to talk about the 2005 movie Pride and Prejudice, directed by Joe Wright. This movie is romantic drama adapted from the classical novel by Jane Austen, and it stars Keira Knightley as Elizabeth Bennet and Matthew McFadden as Mr. Darcy. Well, I choose to talk about this movie because I have a deep interest in romantic stories, especially those that are set in the past. Historical romances feel very different from modern ones. They often have more tension and drama because of the strict rules and customs of the time. And Pride and Prejudice is not just a love story, it's about pride, misunderstanding, family pressure, and the way society views people based on class. I found that combination really powerful. It made me feel more connected to the characters and more curious about the time they live in. From watching Pride and Prejudice, I learned a lot about the lifestyle, the values, and the people in the 19th century of England. For example, I saw how important marriage was for women in that time, not just for love, but for financial stability and family reputation. The story of Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy is also full of lessons. At first, they misunderstand and misjudge each other because of their pride and social differences, but as the story goes on, both characters grow and learn to see things from a different perspective. This made me realize how powerful personal growth and communication are in building relationships. I also learned that people back then had to deal with a lot of social pressure, and their actions were often judged by their status or by their background. In terms of language, this movie taught me a lot. The way the characters speak is very formal and elegant, very different from modern English. I came across many new words and phrases that I had never heard before, like courting, propriety, estate, and proposal. This helped me expand my vocabulary. Also, the actors speak with a British accent, which was challenging at first but helpful in improving my listening skills. And also, I try to imitate how they pronounce certain words and notice how intonation and rhythm affect the meaning of sentences. Well, culturally and historically, I gained a better understanding of how society worked in the 19th century. Women's roles were very limited, and marriage was often the only way for them to improve their lives. The idea of marrying for love was not always the priority. Sometimes people married for wealth or for status. Well, one of the biggest challenge for me was understanding the British accent and the old-fashioned vocabulary. Sometimes the character speaks very quickly or use expressions that are no longer common today. So at first, I found it hard to follow the conversation, but I found some ways to deal with this. I paused and I replayed certain scenes several times to make sure that I understood the meaning. And another thing I did was read a summary of the story before I was watching so I could follow the plot more easily. In conclusion, watching Pride and Prejudice was a great experience for me. It wasn't just entertaining, it also helped me improve my English, especially in listening and vocabulary. And I also learned a lot about the culture, history, and values of the 19th century. It showed me how language, society, and emotion are all connected. And this movie made me more curious about other classic stories and encouraged me to keep learning English through movies.